card is from Bank of JiangSu. The only reason I get that is because I'm from JiangSu province, right? At that time, when we get to pay our fine for the vehicle, you kind of have to go to the place station to handle that. But with this card, you don't have to go to the local station. You can get everything dealt with by this card. But that was a lot of years ago. Now you have special application dedicated with that. You don't have to use the card anymore. Bank of ABC, there were two great reasons for using this card. The first reason is that years ago when you transfer money from a bank to another, they might charge you, but if from the same bank, they actually don't charge you. So that is one of the reasons. If others are getting the ABC, you will also need to get an ABC card to make everyone more convenient. The other reason is that years ago, the ABC bank actually allows you to receive Western Union, which is a service allow you to take US dollar. But I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, the card no longer provided that kind of service, and right now the bank actually doesn't charge you even if you transfer money to a different bank account. So the reason I get this card is I mentioned for ABC Bank, for some reason the bank decided to stop providing service for take Western Union, so I have to get another card which can receive Western Union. But for this card I did come across few problems, because sometimes when you try to receive payment via application, it just pump out some error and asks you to go to the local facility, and when I went there, it just encountered an employee. She actually able to find all the excuse she can find to prevent me to get the payment. So Bank of SPD. The reason of me having this card is I mentioned for Bank of China, sometimes when you receive the Western Union, it causes some problem on the application, right? If that happens, this card can also receive Western Union. What you can do is use the same number, but try this bank's application. Usually it will do. Just remember the number might be locked like 5 or 15 minutes. And there is also another card, but I don't have it because I think 2 cards is enough. I think its name is Chinese Post or China Post, something like that. The other benefit of this card is, let's say if you have some US dollar in your bank account, right? Usually for rest card, it's just the money is there. You don't really have many options to invest your US dollar. I don't have the amount to try on this card, but I saw you can actually invest $3,000 for like 2 or 3% interest. You know, it's better than 0. Blah blah blah, right? Bank of ICBC. For some reason, I just like its name. It just reminds me of the ICAC, 香港廉政公署. Brilliant, huh? I don't remember the exact reason why I get this card, but my experience with this card is kind of okay. Because I remember there was a time when my bank account had some money, and an employee just called me and saying that if the amount of my card can reach like 200K CN yuan, then it will provide interest around, I can't remember exactly, it will provide interest around 3%. You know, usually if you put some money in the bank account, the annual interest is maybe just 0.5 or maybe even less. But if I reach 200K, it will provide 3% interest, and it doesn't matter the money is being keep moving. So the total amount will have the 3% interest. Although I think it only lasts 1 or 2 years, but it is already brilliant. And the other experience I had is I use this bank account for US dollar bank transfer, so it also doesn't have much problem, as I figured. And there is one more interesting part, but it relates to credit cards. Platinum cards of ICBC. You might be wondering, okay, why 2 of them? Well, that's kind of ridiculous, because one of them is for CNY and the other is for US dollar. Ridiculous, huh? And the reason I get that is saying global travel is because, you know, remember the ICBC card, right? So when you reach like 400K, they will provide you, I mean, you can accept it or not, they will provide you 2 platinum cards, which it actually provides some extra benefits, like the travel cards. You can use some free plane loans, and that's the reason I want to get them. But about 6 months ago, I canceled that because the annual fee of each card is actually 1,000 per year, although it's free, right? But the prerequisite is that your ICBC card need to have 400K CN yuan. Although the money of the card can be in some investment program, so only if I have that equivalent amount US dollar, I don't think I will put 400K inside this card, because the investment return isn't that high. And even with 400K in this card, each year it will deduct you 2,000 yuan. Then you need to contact the employee, ask them to like reduct the fee. So that's not kind of complicated. So I just don't want to waste my time and bother others to help me. So I just decided to cancel them because the paying lunch, whatever. Bank of communication. I'm not a fan of credit card because it kind of messed up with the calculation. I mean, when you use a credit card, you do know that you needed to repay it, right? And maybe you add some extra interest because you kind of forgot to pay it back. There was a time I spent some US dollar and actually there is actual CN yuan in this card, but I thought the actual CN yuan should be automatically changed to US dollar, so it will repay my debt. But actually, I need to kind of call the bank to enable the function. So I think because of that, it actually charged me extra interest. Anyway, besides that, the rest experience kind of okay because when you use your credit card, it actually gives you extra credits, so you can use the credits for the extra free stuff. I remember there was a time I used for free Starbucks. You might think I don't spend that much, but if for instance, if you're working for a company, you need to book tickets or maybe some kind of hotel, so it's actually you can get a lot of credit or free stuff. By the way, just to find a restaurant, it's not that cheap. Totally it costs 35 CN yuan, but the quality here, the service and the package here, not bad. If you get the chance to come to our city and want to have some casual meal, this is a place I kind of recommend. Next video I will share you why I call this card the Koroleva, which is Queen in Russian.